The retinol in your bathroom right now is quietly doing something the label never mentioned. 7 of the most viral products on TikTok. We ran every single one through an independent ingredient database. Some contain ingredients the EU has already restricted. Some are owned by the same corporation selling you the cheap version 3 shelves away. What we found is not what the packaging told you. Number 1. The ordinary retinol 1% in squalane. Avoid. TikTok calls this the best beginner retinol under $10. The brand's own website calls it ideal for expert users. Those are not the same person. This product contains 1% retinol. In November 2025, the European Union capped retinol in leave-on products at 0.3% because of documented safety concerns. This product is more than 3 times that limit. Sold in America with no warning, no disclaimer, no mention that a major regulatory body looked at this concentration and restricted it. The formula gives your skin nothing to fall back on. Retinol, squalane, and 2 oils. No ceramides, no barrier support, nothing to protect your skin while the retinol works. The brand labels it ideal for expert users. TikTok sent beginners to it anyway. At least they tell you the concentration. The next brand put fragrance in their retinol, and fragrance scores higher on the independent safety database than the retinol itself. Number 2, Neutrogena Rapid Wrinkle Repair Retinol Moisturizer. Avoid. Number 1 dermatologist recommended in America. Here is what that actually means. It is a paid industry survey. Dermatologists are asked which brands they recommend. The brand with the most paid relationships wins. The FDA has no definition for this claim. It is a survey result wearing a lab coat. Now the formula. Neutrogena put fragrance in a retinol product. Fragrance is one word on the label that legally hides dozens of individual chemical compounds. Brands are not required to tell you what is inside it. The fragrance in this formula rates higher on the independent safety database than the retinol itself. You are pressing retinol in an undisclosed mixture into your face every night with no idea what the second ingredient is doing. That is not an accident. That is a decision. The next 2 products have the joint highest retinol hazard rating of everything we tested, and neither one discloses the actual dose. Number 3, Peace Out Retinol Face Stick. Proceed with caution. 3% encapsulated retinol blend. Here is what that means. Encapsulated blend is not the pure retinol concentration. The 3% includes the entire delivery system. The actual retinol reaching your skin is lower than that number. Peace Out does not tell you the real dose. You cannot compare it to anything else on this list because the number is measuring something different. The stick format concentrates application in a way a serum does not. Standard retinol guidance assumes a small measured amount spread across the face. A stick bypasses that. None of this is on the packaging. The next brand put the word pure on the label. Under FDA law, that word has no definition at all. Number 4, L'Oreal Revitalift Derm Intensives Pure Retinol Serum. Avoid. Pure retinol. Fragrance-free. Every box ticked. Here is the problem. Pure has no regulatory definition in FDA cosmetics law. Any brand can print it on any formula. It means whatever the marketing team decided. Retinol breaks down when exposed to light and air. L'Oreal knows this. They filed United States Patent Number 5800596, describing exactly what retinol packaging needs to stay stable. Their own patent specifies walls impermeable to gases and ultraviolet light. Their Revitalift consumer product comes in a standard dropper bottle. Air enters every time you open it. The company that wrote the patent explaining what retinol needs to is selling you a retinol in packaging that does not meet those requirements. Not because they did not know, they wrote the patent. L'Oreal. That name is about to come up again and again. Number 5. Drunk Elephant A Passione Retinol Cream. Avoid. $74. Clean Beauty. The Sephora bestseller. In 2019, Shiseido, one of the world's largest cosmetics corporations, acquired Drunk Elephant for $845 million. Harvard Business School case study 520-052. Clean beauty has no regulatory definition under FDA law, no required standard, no certification. A brand owned by a multinational corporation can still legally call itself clean, indie, and independent. Board-certified dermatologist Dr. Natalia Spearings publicly noted that chlorhexidine is present in this formula and is known to be a strong skin irritant. She publicly asked the brand to provide clinical trial data supporting their claim that the retinol is 100% bioavailable to skin. No published clinical data for this specific formulation has been made publicly available. $74 for a clean label that means nothing legally, with an irritant ingredient the brand has not addressed publicly. That is not a philosophy. That is a business model. CeraVe is next. And if that name feels different from everything we just covered, wait until you hear who owns it. Number 6. CeraVe Skin Renewing Retinol Serum. Use with awareness. Dermatologist developed, ceramide powered, Reddit's favorite. The formula has real ingredients doing real work. 3 ceramides, niacinamide, encapsulated retinol. That part is not the problem. The problem is what you are trusting when you reach for it. CeraVe was acquired by L'Oreal in 2017 for $1.3 billion, confirmed by L'Oreal financial announcements and SEC regulatory filings. The same L'Oreal that makes Revitalift. The same L'Oreal with the retinol packaging patent. They do not apply to their consumer products. 1 company, 3 brands, 3 price points, 1 building. Dermatologist developed has no FDA regulatory definition. It does not require clinical trials or independent validation of the final product. When you trust CeraVe because it sounds like a medical recommendation, you are trusting L'Oreal. They just decided not to print that on the packaging. If you are already checking what is in your cabinet, hit subscribe. We do this every single week. The last product has the lowest retinol concern of everything we tested. Then you see what else is in the formula. Number 7. Olay Regenerous Retinol 24-Night Moisturizer. Avoid. Of all 7 products, the retinol itself is the least concerning. Then you read the rest of the formula. It contains DMDM hydantoin, confirmed by EWG Skin Deep and Inside Decoder. DMDM hydantoin is a preservative that works by slowly releasing formaldehyde over time. That is the mechanism. Independent cosmetic chemist Colin argues the skin has probably not evolved to deal with slowly released formaldehyde and that it may affect the cells responsible for the skin's defense system. Derm approved. Notes that Olay launched this in 2019 when safer alternatives already existed. Their word, a legitimate criticism. Retinol 24 is a trademarked name. The 24 refers to hours of hydration, not retinol strength. A moisture claim dressed up to sound like a pharmaceutical specification. The actual retinol concentration is not disclosed. They named it after a number that means something entirely different from what you think. And they chose a preservative that raises concern when alternatives existed. Both decisions, both deliberate. 4 out of 7 products will not tell you the retinol concentration. 4 brands deciding what you are allowed to know. Now here is what actually looked different when we ran the same check. Paula's Choice Clinical 1% Retinol Treatment. Worth considering. No fragrance, no DMDM hydantoin, no flagged additives. According to Skin Charisma ingredient analysis, 92% of the ingredients score low risk. The formula includes ceramides, hyaluronic acid, oat extract, licorice root, and peptides. A 2023 study in the Journal of Drugs and Dermatology found ceramide-containing products significantly reduced barrier disruption when used alongside retinoid treatment. Paula's Choice built that protection into the formula. The buffer is already there. Differin adapalene gel 0.1%. Worth considering. EWG classifies this as a moderate hazard, and it contains methylparaben, which EWG flags. Be aware of that. But Differin is the only product in this video classified as an FDA-approved drug ingredient, not a cosmetic, a drug. It went through the FDA approval process. It has published clinical trial data from scientists who did not work for the brand. Every other product tonight reached your shelf without any required safety or efficacy testing. Differin had to prove it works. None of the others did. Available at Target for approximately $13. 3 things to check before your next retinol purchase. 1.
Is the concentration disclosed as a real percentage, not a blend or a brand name? 2. Does the formula contain fragrance without listing what is inside? 3. Search the product on Skin Deep before you buy. Free. 30 seconds. Drop the retinol in your bathroom in the comments. Subscribe. Next week we check the vitamin C serums, and it is worse. Your skin is not a testing ground. Stop letting these brands treat it like one.